How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back with another match preview. Leeds United play Watford at home. Can we finally secure that first home victory of the season? We shall see. We shall see. But before we get into it, you know the drill, people. Please hit a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and of course, drop your comments and score predictions in the comments after the stream is done. Thank you to William Morrison and Karen Curtin for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated for the support. Super thanks are given in the comments. You can choose to press thanks and donate to the channel myself that way. Really does help out a lot. So thank you so much for the support. Nige D saying, evening, KG, let's go. Look, Nige, this isn't going to be a long preview today, I'm afraid. The presser today, I'm going to be real with you, it was the worst one so far. For me, it was the worst one so far, and a couple of you have messaged me kind of echoing what I was thinking when I was watching it. It wasn't a great presser today, but they're not all going to be home runs. They're not all going to be inspirational pressers. For me, that's secondary. As long as we get the 3 points on Saturday, it's irrelevant to me. But some of the questions today, I thought we was back in 2019-20 again. Crazy questions for me today. Just mad. There's all kinds of things we could have asked about today, and none of the journals covered it. They didn't cover any of it. They didn't cover anything that we want to know. Well, that I want to know. I'd want to know, they were asking about Ampadu, but there was no question of, hey, is Glenn Kamara up and running? Can he do 90 minutes now? Is Gruev ready to start a game? There was nothing like that. It was, hey, how is Ayling around the place? Does he do card tricks? Does he do karaoke? It was a shambles of a presser today, in all fairness, and Daniel Farker could only answer what he was asked, so it's all good. Don James here always gets me with that name. Injury curse at Leeds United continues. Yeah, listen, let's get straight into it, because like I say, this shouldn't be too long today. Unfortunately, the injury with Gnonto, it could be one where he's out for months. We'll have to wait and see. I guess we'll get the results next week. But Farker on Gnonto, sadly bad news with him. He's done his lateral ankle ligament. We'll wait for the assessment this afternoon. He'll definitely not be available tomorrow. I didn't count on Gnonto being available for the Watford game, but it sounds like it's going to be a lengthy absence, which sucks. It absolutely sucks, because this is one of our key players. Now, we do have depth in the squad, which means that Somerville will probably start again, and Somerville was one of our better players against oh god, who do we play? Hull City. Yeah. He was one of our better performers coming off the bench, so hopefully he'll be ready and hungry again, and he'll be ready to go. There is also, of course, Jane Anthony as well. I probably think it will be Dan James starting again. I think James will probably get thrown out again, and Somerville to come in place of Gnonto. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I don't know what you guys seem to think of that. Nige saying Farker seems to be bigging up Ayling. Well, he was asked about him, Nige, and he's not going to throw any players under the bus, but that's what I'm talking about. The presser today was a mess to me. It wasn't asking any important questions of what we're going to do now. Is Archie Gray going to get a break? Is Archie Gray tired at this point? Do you think he's ready to play another 90? I'm not asking him to reveal his team info, but we didn't even scratch the surface of our new players. It was all about bringing up old times again. It was a poor press conference there. I've got to say. And Danny Farker can only ask what he's answered. But when you delve into what he actually said about number 2, it was mostly stuff about him off the pitch and all that stuff. It was 5%. He gives his all during the game. Great, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was a shambles. That's why there's no need to go on too long today. Gerbil Boy, is that Gerbil Boy? It is Gerbil Boy, and he has a gerbil in his picture. Tremendous. Dan James is better coming on a sub. I agree. I've said that all along, Gerbil Boy and everyone else. As much as people think that I'm Dan James's #1 fan, I've said that his most effective way of playing is in the final 20, when other teams are tired, players are on bookings, there's dangers of them getting sent off. Mentally gone as well. He'll be great in that area. So far, actually, one start he did have was good. I can't remember the game though. I don't remember the game, but he was pretty good. But yeah, he is more of an impact player in my opinion. But at this point, with Gnonto out, I feel like he might have to start, because Jaden Anthony so far, even in the game versus Hull, Jane Anthony didn't come in, it was Dan James. And then when Gnonto went off injured, it was Somerville coming on, not Jane Anthony. So we'll see what happens. We didn't really get any hint of team news in this press conference either. Karen saying, agree, Cage, it was a poor press conference. Yeah, it was. Bob's here saying, can't watch press, so some of the questions are shocking. A lot of the journals write propaganda articles. Yeah, you've got to understand, a lot of them have been around the club for like a long time. They don't actually support Leeds, but you know, the press access and everything else, you've got to keep the questions light. I mean, there was one journal that was mentioned Cooper, and I thought he was going to mention about him being a bit rash when he came on and then settled down towards the end. But he missed that whole bit out and said he made a great challenge at the end. It's like, well, you know, what are you supposed to do with that? And Daniel Farke has made a point that I've made before, but it doesn't really matter if you've got two right-footed defenders together or two left-footed together. It doesn't matter. You people have won trophies. Some of the best partnerships in world football have been two right-footers: Cannavaro, Nesta, Ferdinand Vidic, if you like, John Terry, Carvalho. I mean, all of this left foot, right foot thing has been something over the past few years. But ideally, for me, people, I would love to get your opinions. I want to see Charlie Creswell come in for this game next to Pascal. And we'll see what Pascal's made of without Joe Rodon there as well. I'm very interested to see that. I just look at it from other ways as well. Meslier looks a lot calmer. If we've got that defense core again, where it's the one that conceded about 2,000 goals in the past few years, how is everyone going to interact with each other? How comfortable are people with each other during games? It's one of those for me. So I would like to see Charlie come in, but is Charlie going to come in after not even making the bench versus Hull? I don't know. I feel like it is going to be Strauch and Cooper, and if it is, we'll just have to see what we're going with there. But one thing for sure, if it's Cooper to play, we're going to have a lot of back passes. You know what I mean? Ben saying Popey mentioning Cooper's game change tackle instead of disaster class. Yeah, I hear you. Listen, you guys can watch the conference for yourself if you want to get the full information from it, whatever information was there. But yeah, it wasn't the greatest one today. But look, as long as we get 3 points tomorrow, who cares? Seriously, who cares? Let me just see. So we got Far Gnonto out, which is a blow. It is a blow at this level. We did get some news about Stuart Dallas returning to full team training. Farke says he's delighted. It was a tough road for him. It's great to see him back in big parts of training. Every player was outside to give him a warm welcome, and of course, here we are with Stuart in action. And yeah, Diggler, I agree. This is what I'm saying. We've got questions here that I would love to have known. I was talking to you guys on after the game versus Hull. I don't know if Creswell's hurt or anything like that, and we still don't know, because it wasn't about him today. It was about Bamford coming back. It was about number 2. It was about Stuart Dallas. Now, Stuart Dallas, I'm not too mad at. I know that Stuart Dallas is part of the old guard, but Stuart Dallas always had some technical ability. Even when he came into this club first time as a winger from Brentford, he wasn't one of those that relied on Bielsa to overcoach him. Now, he benefited from Bielsa's coaching 100%, but he still had some ability before Bielsa came in. And even in my keep, sell, bench video, I said that we're going to get either one of the two things from Dallas. We're either going to get a good serviceable player that's come back from a long-term injury. He's had a big break, not his injury. He's had a big break from it all, and he'll come back and be an asset in this championship team. And I don't think that's far-fetched. Or he's going to be broken. Only time's going to tell. But he's nowhere near first-team action just yet, people, just to be clear. He won't be involved this weekend. So don't think about Stuart Dallas for this weekend. But the fact he's back in full first-team training is a positive step. And I do think that with his skill set in this league, I think he can be a valuable asset to the team. Let's have a look. Nige, I'm with you, man. I hear you. Nige saying not as confident for tomorrow as I was with Rodon now missing. I hear that 100%. It does sound like Ampadu's going to go again. Farke yet again mentioning how he's Welsh. he's got this thing about Welsh players where he just feels like they're just made of steel. But I think Ampadu is likely to start again. Will Gray start with him? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would love to have known if Kamara is in line for a start, because at home against a Watford team, um, who have got a bit of energy to him, is Gray starting to tire a little bit? He seemed to be a bit tired towards the end. Maybe it was because we was down to 10 men, but I guess we'll see the team tomorrow and we'll find out all together. Bubs, listen, Bubs. Yeah. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Dallas was poor at times that season before he got injured. Good to see him back though. Yeah, 100%, Bubs. There's no rewriting history here. He was poor that year. He was as poor as Junior Firpo, but he will never get that stick because he's part of the old guard. But I don't let that cloud my judgment. That's for other people to put on those rose tinted glasses when it comes to him. But he was poor at left back and right back that season. Just one of many that were poor. But the fact is, before that season, he was brilliant for us, absolutely brilliant. And if we can get even half of that back in this division, he'll be a key, not a key asset, but he'll be a big asset going forward. He's definitely different to me than the rest of them. I'll just say that. I don't, bring out the pom-poms and everything, but I do think he's going to be more than useful, in my opinion. But yes, he was one of the poor performers, but he just never got called out because he's Stuart Dallas. But I call it out everything here, and it's on match reactions. It's on the match views. That game where he got injured versus Jack Grealish, it was boneheaded. It was absolutely boneheaded. But the way he tried to tackle Grealish. But look, he's been out for a long time. It's a lot to ask of him, but hopefully he keeps training well. And just think, Stuart Dallas back in this team on the bench, even that's nice to see. I think it's nice to see. I feel comfortable with that. I feel more than comfortable with that. John saying, smash the likes, people. It's free. Yes, please, people, please hit the like on the video. It is the best way to help out the channel, help out the videos to get seen to more people. So if you could just do that, just caress that thumb, you can you'll be helping me out big time. Yeah, Karen saying Roden we badly miss. Yeah, we're all gonna miss him, man. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Missing Joe Roden. He's been so good for us, like really, really good. You see, again, I'm not trying to be horrible, but I've got to compare it because they're both in our team. But when you see how Joe Roden moved the guy out the way in the penalty area, shoulder to shoulder, making sure that it wasn't a penalty, that's smarts. That's top level smarts. And when you compare it to Cooper coming on and just diving in, missing it completely, and then a few minutes later stomping down, almost risking a red card, that's the difference between the two defenders. It's night and day, people. It's not even funny. It's not even close. So that is what we're going to miss there. And we've seen just how well he's been holding Pascal's hand, and that's going to be another interesting wrinkle to see how Pascal gets on without Joe Roden this weekend. Bobs is saying in regards to Dallas, yeah, 100%. What do you see his best position? It could be anywhere in this league, Bobs. He could come in at left back, because the thing with Stuart Dallas is that he can actually cross with his left foot, and he also plays the inverted role much better than even Sam Byram does, because he does come in on the inside and either shoots or put in a key pass. He's got that in his locker. We have seen that with Stuart Dallas many times before in Premier League level as well. So I'm easy with Stuart Dallas wherever he is going to come in and play. It sounds like we're still going to have number 2 playing. We'll see how he gets on in this game. What else was key from this? There really wasn't a lot there wasn't a lot of meat on the bones. Yeah, Bamford not involved tomorrow, so don't look out for Bamford. Yeah, there really wasn't nothing else, people. So yeah, Dave, it was in regards to Joe Roden, very clever defending. That's what you get with better centre backs at your football club, and he's one of them, 100%. I'm not gassing him like the whole Verba thing that happened, but you can just tell he's a cut above, really and truly. Chris is saying, don't want to see number 2 and Cooper in the team tomorrow. Chris, I'm afraid you may be disappointed, my friend. I'm afraid you may be disappointed. And this is where we go into now score predictions. So let me see. Oh, okay. Paul saying here, really missing the coverage of the games here in New Zealand's out the Premier League. Really hard to follow. Are we one Ampadu injury away from chaos? Yes, Paul. Yes. Yeah. If we was to lose Ampadu and Roden, yeah, we're looking at pretty much the same defense that we've had over the past couple of years, and we know that's not good enough. So yeah, let's try and keep Ampadu as fit as possible. But you even saw in the game, which is another thing that was a risk. Ampadu was on a yellow card, and towards the end of the game versus Hull, he was getting into a little, argy-bargy with a Hull player, and he could have easily got a second yellow if he had lost his head a bit, and we would have been out Ampadu and Roden for the game versus Watford. And for me, oh no, that wouldn't be any good. David is saying 2-0 Leeds. Carl Brown, thank you for the super chat. Really, Carl, always supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Carl. Damar Face is saying 2-0 to Watford. Oh God, no. Nigel saying 2-1 Leeds. Bob saying 3-2 Leeds. Don James 1-1. Scott Lighton is saying for the back five tomorrow have conceded 150 goals in 2 seasons. Lovely. Diggler saying 4-0 Leeds, possibly wishful thinking. You never know. You never know. Gregory saying got to get the first goal. Yeah, and that was something else that he was asked today, which was a pertinent question in regards to, do we expect teams to just sit back at Elland Road? And Daniel Farker, pretty much his face before he even said the answer, said, yeah, we're expecting teams to come to Elland Road and park the bus. And that's their prerogative, but it's up to us how to break them down. And he said something that I said on here before in regards to, we will score an early goal at one stage versus these teams that set up with 10 behind the ball. But then it will be up to them to come out and try and get a goal against us, which will be even more in our favor. So yeah, it's all about us trying our best to break those teams down. A lot of us saying 2 Leeds wins. This will be beautiful because there is a stat here just to highlight, but we're unbeaten in 5 matches. Well, Watford haven't won an away game in 11. And we usually know what happens with that, people, don't we? We usually know what happens with that story. But I'm hopeful that we will get the win tomorrow. I do not see a clean sheet tomorrow. I wish we did. I know Flying Fish is going 3-0 here. Dave is going for a 0-0 draw. Oh, man, that would be boring as hell. Again, Tite, I'm going to say Tite. I'm going to say you're Brazilian, Tite. 2-1 Leeds. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 3-2 Leeds win. I think that we get our first win at home at last. But I can definitely see us conceding with the back line that we're going to have in place tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going to go with a 3-2 Leeds win. Let's go with that. My scorers, let's go Jorginho to make up for the horrendous miss versus Hull. And I'm going to go João Perreault to turn up in this game and get another brace. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Oh, you're from Gibraltar. Fair enough. Gregory here. Anyone think Meslier is improving? Well, I gave Meslier his props on against Hull, Gregory, because I felt that even when we was down to 10 men, he looked more assured. But this is going to be the test. This is where we find out if he is improving, because he's going to have the old people in front of him where it was all going wrong. Pretty much all the old people that were in front of him going wrong, unless it is Creswell coming in tomorrow. But you can imagine it being Strauch and Cooper. Now, if we're seeing number 2, Strauch, Cooper, and then Shackleton again at left back. Shackleton needs to have a better game. He was poor against Hull City. If he's to play, hopefully it will be Byron playing on the right, but it's not going to happen, so let's not bother. It's probably going to be Byron on the left. He'll probably be the only difference from the previous 2 seasons, where Meslier, not going to say it outright, but didn't trust his defense in front of him. So we're going to find out tomorrow just what he's made of for me. Steve, yeah. Steve saying Spence now Gnonto stop the bleeding cage. Yeah, I mean, because you know what it is for me, Steve, and everyone else. We come down with injuries so often now. It's just like, okay, well, who's next up? They just happen so frequently at this football club that it's just like, okay, who's up next? And that's just how I go with it. It sucks because it's a key player, but we have got quality to come in. Let's be real. It's not a catastrophe like it would have been in previous seasons. We do actually have some quality to come in. But yeah, so people, yeah, put your score predictions below. Like the video, please. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I will be back after the game tomorrow. Should be on straight away after the game, and we can talk through the first home victory of the league season. That would be nice to do, because I tell you what, that when we had that stream versus Millwall, that stream was so good to do. That was such a good stream to do. Just everyone was buzzing. Everyone was buzzing, and we need another one. So yeah, smash a like before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow, people. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your evening.